Okay, all right, so couple of things. We were going to have the guy speak about the 2021 tax credit. So if anybody was a real estate agent in 2021, there is an adjustment because of COVID that will get you money back. So I got it, and I'm just waiting. I was approved, and I'm just waiting for my money to get put into my account. So you could do it on your own. I mean, it's not a scam. It's not anything like that. But it's very complicated, and it has to do with missing days, COVID, all this kind of stuff. So I went through a company that sent me the link, and it honestly took me 5 minutes, and then they approved me, and then they sent me all these documents to print, sign, send back to them in 2 separate envelopes to the IRS, and they all approved it. Now I'm just waiting for the money to go into my account. So anybody who sold real estate in 2021, you can do this adjustment, and it's not like a credit towards taxes, it is actual money. So anyway, he was gonna speak today, but there was a confusion with schedule, he got double booked, so date to be determined. We're gonna do a little bit of he'll zoom in and we'll just listen to him. He's gonna show us the link, he's gonna walk us through it and answer any questions, and it's only gonna be specifically for that. So that was supposed to be today, but that's off the agenda. Second thing, we've got an Exeter office. So it is not pretty right now. It's not pretty, but I've already picked out flooring, laminate flooring. Chris is gonna lay it for me. He volunteered to lay laminate flooring. I'll be his assistant. So it's gonna be painted, and we're gonna redo the bathroom, and I've got tile picked out for the bathroom. So flooring, tile, paint colors all picked out. Our colors over there are gonna be, is Connie on? No, she's not, she had a hair appointment. So Connie's already picked out the colors, and it's gonna be sage green, navy blue, cream, and gold. It's absolutely gorgeous. Nice. So we're gonna have the whole thing is gonna be centered around a sage green velvet couch that we don't have yet. But that's
So we're gonna manifest it.
Yes, but we're gonna get it, don't worry, we will find it. So that's what's happening, and there's about 900 square feet in the front, and then there's a back office that really needs some help. But I can do whatever I want. I talk to her. Yeah, as long as I pay for it. So, but we're gonna work on the front of it first, and we're gonna get that bathroom, and it's across from the coffee shop and across from the bakery, right?
There's, bakery, and what else is over there? Coffee shop, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good.
Couple doors down from the coffee shop.
Yep.
That's for sale.
Yeah.
And the cookie store is down the way too, not too far, right?
Across the Joe,
You just go with it.
Oh, just go with it,
It's
yeah,
down the way.
across the street,
How close is it to VIP?
right.
Right around the corner, right?
Yeah, it's all right there.
So we'll have our lunch spot now.
Yeah, so we think it's gonna be really good to do like once a month, a mixer over there, like go across the street, get coffee, bring it in, agents invite people. Exeter is prime for agents, because there's some agents who have done quite a bit of business over there and taken it for granted. And so I think we're gonna put some effort into really getting involved with the community, really doing some things with the community. We've got Shauna, who's the chamber president. So that's gonna be, so that's gonna be amazing. We definitely, it's gonna be fun. So anyway, that's coming up. So the 4 disciplines of execution. Has anybody read it? Has anybody done this? Okay, a lot of this is gonna be familiar with what I preach with sphere of influence and database, but it kind of is a different strategy. It does not only have to be for real estate agents. That's what I'm kind of focusing on. But once you know the strategy, it'll work for any business at all. So the goal to execute a strategy that requires a lasting change in behavior, okay? So that's what our goal is. We're gonna execute a strategy That is a lasting change of behavior. Stroke of the pen decisions, which is just something we have authority for, right? Those are things we just throw money at. Oh, we put an ad in, we sign to do this, we tell somebody to do that. Those are stroke of the pen decisions, okay? What we're worried about are the breakthrough decisions, the breakthroughs that we're gonna have to make big changes in our behavior that lead to big changes in our business. Okay, so stay with me with this. There's 4 disciplines, and we're gonna go over them today, but we're really only gonna delve into the first discipline. Next week, we're gonna get to the second discipline. Yes, Christopher.
Do we have books to buy, or do we just get it ourselves online?
You can buy the book if you want.
You have different options. You were emailed a copy of this 8-page handout summary. So for our short brains that can't handle much, these 8 pages are a lot already.
Short brains.
Cause it gets you the fat, it cut the fat. Then you have a PDF version that is 42 pages that was emailed to you as well, and it's also in the chat. And if those that don't have in the chat, Romy will add it again, or you can email us. And then, of course, you have the Audible. The Audible, it is very dry and dull. Mind you, I listened to the 7 levels countless times on Audible. I only listened to 40X one time.
So
I remember the chord, but that's about it.
I have the book and I'm reading it. And I'm kind of summarizing and bringing the highlights to you guys, right? I also have it on Audible. I agree with Jackie. Like I listen to it when I'm on the treadmill and then I'm looking around and I'm like, what did I
You
just
fall
miss?
off the treadmill?
And then, no, I don't off the treadmill, but then I realize it's been 10 minutes and I didn't hear one word that he just spoke, like nothing went in my brain. So then I go back and listen again, but really, I listen to the Audible, but I'm reading the book as well. But you don't have to, it's just, if I'm gonna give you the highlights, if you wanna delve into it further, you can. So it's a set of 4 proven practices.
Wait, just so that I understand this correctly, we're not expected to read it, this is enough.
There we go.
We're just gonna read this and then you're gonna also send, okay,
Yep, we don't have to read the book, it's not a book study.
so it's not a book study.
No, I'm just training from the book, so I'm kind of summarizing. So it is a set of 4 proven practices. And it does work, they've tested it with all different kinds of businesses. This is the second revision of the book. So they made changes from when they first published it. The second publication was a little bit different. So they say to achieve a goal you have never achieved before, you must start doing things you have never done before. Okay, so they want you to find something that you have not done before and make these changes to do it. So keep all that in mind. So in our days as real estate agent and in any business, we have whirlwind. We were just talking about this before we went online, whirlwind. So what do you think is in a whirlwind of what you do every day to keep your business going? What do you think, Chris?
Junk,
Junk, right.
Checking social media.
Checking social media.
games on our phone.
No, that's not a whirlwind of business. That's.
Oh, business.
Yeah, like something you call that,
Big.
it's like when you say, I'm working, but you're not really lead generating working.
So you're servicing
doing stuff.
escrow, right? Servicing escrow.
Yeah.
Ordering inspections, all these things, right? Yeah, so that's the whirlwind of our day, showing property. That's the whirlwind, right? It's important, it is important, but it's just something that keeps going. We have to do this to keep our business going. It's urgent, right? We are required to do it to maintain our business, right? We gotta maintain it. Cause you could do lead generating all you want, but if you're not showing property, it's not gonna go anywhere. If you're not writing listings, it's not gonna go anywhere. You know, your escrows aren't gonna close if you're not doing what you need to do. So this part has to keep going. But then the whirlwind versus the breakthrough, okay? The breakthrough requires a change in behavior, and it's important. Okay, so a whirlwind is urgent, but the breakthrough is important. Right, so we've got to find these breakthroughs that we need to do to push your business a little bit further, right? So you've got to identify what that is. So there was a quote that I liked, it was, ignore the urgent can kill you today. Ignore the important can kill you tomorrow. right? So the whirlwind is what we're doing to maintain today. The breakthrough is what we're doing to further our business tomorrow. And if you don't have breakthroughs and if you're not pushing, you are not gonna go any further with your business. You'll stay, you'll organically grow, but really don't we wanna push a little bit more to push it and really, really grow. So that is the difference between the whirlwind and the breakthrough. And what is interesting is I've been reading this is like, once you get a breakthrough, and I'll tell you how you do that. And then you get the steps to make it happen. You can put it back in your whirlwind, right? Because then it becomes daily. It becomes what you're doing as part of your business. Then you can identify another breakthrough that you want to do. So these breakthroughs are called WIGs, wildly important goals. Okay, so we're gonna have some wildly important goals. And we don't want 20 wildly important goals. We want one. One, because you've got to focus on less to achieve more. If you focus on 10 different things, you're going to get spread thin, but you got to pick out one thing that you can focus on that is going to be a goal that is going to drastically change your business. And when you're thinking what these WIGs are, it should be something that emotionally charges you. Like there should be some reason behind it, right? Like I'm gonna pick my wig. It's gonna be, I'm gonna double my business. And this is what it's gonna do for my family, or this is what it's gonna do for me. Or my goal is to do with agents. This is what it's gonna do for my agents and the brokerage as a whole. So you've got to really put some thought into what that wig is gonna be. And if you're already doing it, if you're not ready to make some drastic changes, that's probably not your wig. It's got to be something bigger. You don't think big, and it's okay if maybe you fall a little short, like maybe what your goal is, you fall a little short.
Is it like a general thing, like do better, or is it
No.
like specific?
It's got to be specific, like.
You can measure.
And so you've got to have a start line, a finish line, and a deadline. Okay, so it would be like, let's say, I want to increase my business from closing 10 units in a year to 20 units by December of 2025. Very specific, right? Very specific what you're going to do. So you've got to really put some thought into it, and it may not come to you right at the start. I thought about what mine was, and it took me a little bit to kind of decide what it was. And at first it was, okay, I'm gonna do what we talked about, Jackie, GCI, like gross commission income. I thought, nah, that's not it. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe it's units. I was like, no, that's not it. But I found what it is we did 22 agents who capped in 2023. By December of 2025, I want 50 agents have capped in the brokerage. So that is a very specific goal. And it's big because it's double, like it's a big goal for me to achieve. And it's gonna be coming up with the strategy and the plan to get agents to have the tools and the training and the accountability to increase. So that's what my wig is. Very specific.
You can do it instantly, just lower the cap.
Chris, I like your thing.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Yeah, we've already done that. Yeah, that probably.
It's already super low, but
It's done tomorrow.
Yeah. So you've got to figure out and maybe it doesn't apply to real estate. Maybe it's something outside of real estate that is a wildly important goal. But you need to really put some thought into it and commit to this 40X. Just try it. Just try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't work for you, but maybe it does. And then you go, wow, that was crazy. Now that goes into my whirlwind. Okay, now what's my next thing that I can achieve? So 40X was really written more for like business owners who have a lot of employees. So I had to really think about it like, Okay, how do we use that as real estate agents? Because we're independent contractors.
Mhm.
But we do have something. You guys have a tribe, right? You have your admins, if you might, you have TCs,
Mhm.
you have your vendors, right? Your escrow people, your lenders, those are your tribe. So if it's something to do with real estate, what can those people do to help you achieve that goal as well? So it is some management skills that comes in with dealing with those vendors in your tribe. So you might wanna figure out what your tribe is too. So discipline number 2, and I'm just going over these, we're not gonna go into them in real detail, I just want you to kind of know what they are, is act on the lead measures. So there's 2 types of measures, there's lag measures and lead measures. Lag measures are just what has already happened, what you can count, those are lag measures in a situation. Lead measures are what you're doing to achieve new things. So lag measures, yeah, you wanna know, but you gotta focus on those lead measures, otherwise you're gonna be caught back here, you're not going forward, you're just stuck back here. So act on the lead measures, so next week is what that's gonna be, and I'm assuming, I haven't read that part of the book yet, but I'm assuming what it is gonna be, what do we have to do to achieve our WIG? Right, what are these measures that we've gotta do, these steps, these actions that we've gotta do to achieve this goal? Discipline number 3 is keep a scoreboard, because if you don't keep a scoreboard of what you're doing, you won't know if you're winning or not. You will not know, and even when we've learned about lead generation through Bold, all through when we did that at Keller Williams, they want you to count for how many calls you make a day. And I know, Chris, you do that, right? You have like a sheet, you know how many people you're calling, you had a daily sheet, it's a score sheet. So you're not competing against anybody else, but you are competing against yourself. So if you're not improving and keeping score of what you're doing, how are you gonna know what you're doing on these lead measures? And then discipline number 4 is accountability. So we're probably gonna need to get some accountability partners, okay? And figure out like who you're gonna work with and who, maybe it's a once a week call. How's it going? What were your goals? How did that go? I try and keep agents accountable, but I can't be accountable with everybody. It won't work. I'll lose, I'll lose control of it. But finding an accountability partner is good.
But a partner that's gonna challenge you. If you're gonna go with a partner like, hey, Brittany calls me and I say, Brittany, I didn't do my calls. She says, okay, she's not gonna force me to do it. She's gonna tell me, so what are you gonna do next week to do it? So I'm like, okay, next week I'm gonna do this. But if I keep breaking it, she can't force me. But another friend that's really gonna challenge you, like if I go to Chris or I go to Sarah, it's gonna be harder for me to be like, oh, I didn't do my numbers. I would be like 5 minutes before the call, like at least get 5 or half, and I'll be like, yeah, I did half. I didn't do it early, but I did half. It's still better than nothing. But someone that you're actually gonna respect to hold yourself accountable to. That you're when they yell at you, you're gonna take it and not cry, but also change your habit to make it happen.
Well, Jackie, can I tell the count? Yeah.
Yes.
So Jackie, last week, I knew Jackie was stressed, so I said to Jackie, okay, Jackie, what are the 4 main things that you cannot delegate to somebody else, right? Not what can we delegate, what can you not delegate? And so Jackie came up with the 4 things. I said, okay. And then Jackie said, but I think my biggest problem is I keep it all up here, I don't have it in my calendar. So I don't know, I lose control of what I'm doing. So I said to Jackie, okay, then let's get it in your calendar. And Jackie, we had 2 days.
Didn't do it.
Jackie didn't do it. So I called her and I said, how's it going with the calendar? I didn't get it done. Okay, I'll have it done by Monday. So yesterday,
Not Monday. On Monday.
on Monday, I go into the office and by selling, I'm like, Jackie, where's your calendar? She goes, I didn't do it. So I was like, okay, well, let's do it right now. So Jackie and I sat down and did the calendar. So it's not done because I'm mad at Jackie. It's not done because I'm like, oh, I'm reprimanding Jackie.
No.
But Jackie, now it's done, right?
And now I feel better and not stressed this weekend. I accomplished half of the week's work when it was supposed to be done and it got done.
Yep, and I have a coach and she tells me things to do and the following Monday, believe me, I wanna be teacher's pet, right? I wanna be the one that did the right thing. I wanna be the one where she goes, oh, you do such a good job, Sarah, you know, and not the one that she goes, oh, you didn't do that, so I am scrambling. Sometimes it's Sunday night, you know, sometimes up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday, scrambling to get what I was supposed to get done, but I get it done. Because she's holding me accountable. And it's almost makes it brainless, like you don't have to do it, because you're always gonna find excuses for yourself. There's always gonna be an excuse, oh, I couldn't do that because of the whirlwind, right? You know, I didn't do these things because, oh, I had to go show property. And that is one of my biggest things with agents is if you are working your calendar, block out time for lead generating, because I don't care when I block out time for what I'm gonna do, and if a client calls and says, hey, I wanna see this property. I will not give, and they wanna see it during that time frame when I do my lead generating that I've got blocked out, I just say, oh man, I'm already booked. I don't tell them what I'm doing, I just say I'm already booked, but I can do it this afternoon at 4 or tomorrow at 10, will that work? Right, you've got to manage your calendar, it all kind of goes hand in hand. So to manage the WIG and the breakthrough and what the lead measures we're gonna take, you've got to calendar. And then we've also got to hold each other accountable. So that comes all into play. Anybody have any questions, Christopher? No?
So would a closing be a lag measure or a lead measure?
A closing is not a lead measure. A closing is not furthering anything, that's just ending something. It's not even a lag measure until it closes and then you just put a check mark. It's a whirlwind, right? The closing is the whirlwind because you're running around, you're trying to get those last minute things done. Oh, we need the TDS signed. Oh, you didn't do an avid? You should do an avid or whatever it is, right? And everybody's scrambling. Those are whirlwind. That's neither lag nor lead.
Would sending out my note cards be a lead measure?
If that's one of your goals, if that is one of your tasks to get your WIG.
That's usually my.
Jackie, I think is trying to find loopholes.
No, I want confirmation on still doing it right.
There's always the lag, Jack, you know what the lag is? If you don't do the wig, it's a wild ass guess what's gonna happen.
That's right, that the wag, yeah. So I know what Jackie's saying, but you know, you've got to, don't convince yourself that something is a lead measure and it's not. Because a lot of the stuff is gonna fall into that whirlwind. That's gonna be what the one that's really going and that we get caught up with, we get consumed. That's why it's important, hold yourself accountable, keep a scoreboard and block calendar. Block out time to do what you need to do. That way you don't have double. Okay. Again, 4DX is an operating system. The 4 disciplines are a match set. It's not pick and choose. You can't do one and not the other 3. To really get the full effect of 4DX, you gotta do all 4. You gotta find your WIG. You've got to act on the lead measures, keep a scoreboard and accountability. And then once it becomes a habit, then it goes into the whirlwind, right? And then you grab that other. Does anybody have any ideas about what they're gonna do as their WIG? Does anything come to mind? Just because.
Well, I've been doing this, and I'll call it myself, sometimes. Sometimes I put my own time, that I put, where I'm gonna be doing for the day, every single day, either do my marketing and then follow up with leads, calls and so forth, so I put myself at 8 p.m. and that's my Sunday rule to make sure that I have everything completed. And then if I have showings or whatever, it's already crossed off.
So that is a good example of calendaring, but it's not lead measures,
Oh, okay.
because that's what you're doing,
Yeah.
that's your whirlwind.
Yeah,
That's,
smart.
but that is very smart, because what Marty's doing is controlling her whirlwind, right? She's not just letting it go willy-nilly. She's got a set schedule of what she's doing, and she knows, okay, at the end of the day, and you sleep better too, huh, Marty, because you know it's already done.
Because you know, and I think I gave him that idea, I said, just do it, it's important, because we're always really busy.
Yep.
Always really busy and you're getting, just like now, having, inspections and so forth, but I already blocked out for whatever the time frame. But my goal is 8 o'clock, and then for my marketing, for leads, I have marketing, I have to make phone calls, I have to, a few things that I'm doing that, of course, I'm gonna get some business.
Right, so those are all great things for your whirlwind. Any goals that anybody has that they think that just pops to mind that they might wanna do?
Reaching out to like sphere of influence and you get more like.
But what's your goal? What's your goal?
Yeah, I would have to pick, like, I want.
So it's gotta be something
I don't
big.
wanna listen and touch each one. every
Right,
week.
those are your lead measures, but what's the goal? Like, if you do all these things, what ultimately is gonna be the goal of all this happening? Doubling your business,
Yeah.
tripling your business? You've gotta come up with the goal. The measures are gonna be the easy part, well, fairly, if you do them. But you've gotta come up with the goal first, like, what is it that you wanna do? Well, I know what I wanna do with the brokerage, so that was like, this is my goal. Is it kind of a wild goal? A little bit. Is it gonna take some thinking what I'm gonna do and, working on those? Yeah, it is. But it's important to get the goal because you can do the lead measures, but if you don't have the goal, you don't know what you're aiming for.
Get top 5 every week.
There you go. Right.
I mean, it's fun.
And then how would that, because next week I want you guys for homework to come up with your WIC. I want you to do it, but I also want you to tell me why it's important to you. Like, it's gotta be emotional and important and why you wanna do that. You don't have to cry or anything, but, just that it's gonna be changing for your life, right? It's gotta be life changing. And that way you put that much importance on it, like it's life changing for my business, it's life changing for my life. And put that much importance that you're gonna calendar it, and you're gonna do it, and you're gonna keep a scoreboard, and you're gonna have somebody that holds you accountable. Right? That's how the system works. Also, when you come up with the WIG, again, how's it gonna change your life? 1, 3, 5-year goals. So it goes a little bit more. Let's have 1, 3, and 5-year goals for next week. Like, what are those goals? And there's no right or wrong, guys. It's your goals. You can do whatever you want, but go deep. Like, don't do something just like easy. Do something that is a big goal that you are gonna have to put some thought, and that you're gonna have to do something differently than what you're doing now. Because if you just keep things the way they are and the goal is real easy, you're just gonna do more of what you're doing, right? We want you to step outside that comfort zone and do those things to get to that goal.
So it can be like a GCI for one.
It can be whatever you want. If I was thinking about my own personal business, I think that's the obvious of what it's gonna be. But maybe it would be, I'm going to close X amount of escrows, or maybe it's going to be, GCI, whatever it is. And, once I do that, then I'm gonna buy, it's gonna be important for me because I'm gonna use that additional income to buy rental property, investment property. That would be a change to your life. That would change. So if that happens, how's that gonna affect you and what are you gonna do? But I think for the majority of us with real estate, it's gonna be money driven, kind of have a feeling, but maybe not. Maybe somebody else comes up with something a little bit different. So what's that?
Well, this is our homework. Your WIG, 1-year goals.
Yeah, the
3-year,
WIG,
5-year
the
goals.
1-year, 3-year, 5-year goals. That's it. So that's what we've come up with for homework. Anybody have any questions? Nope.
Where do we put it at?
Hmm,
Where do we put it at? Just
On the paper. Bring it.
you can either write it on paper, you can keep it in your brain. And I'm gonna do mine too. So that you can see. So I think next week we'll kind of talk about what your wigs are and let's present them and talk about them.
So is the WIG different than the 1-year goal, 3-year goal, 5-year?
No, it's all goals. Well, your wig is gonna be a 1-year wig, 3, and then a 5. Or just do one if you want. I'm gonna do one.
I already got mine.
What's yours?
No, I'm not telling you.
Way to go, team player.
Shots fired.
No, mine is, to the best year I had in real estate, it's been quite a few years ago, but is to match that
There you go, and by when, pick a deadline.
Units or GCI?
GCI
So Chris is going to match the best year that he has had, GCI, by when?
this year, by the end of this year,
By December 2020.
by December 31st.
2024.
2020.
It's gonna be big, it's gonna be big because. It's gonna be big for me because one, it's a good amount of money, and two, it's gonna be emotional for me to say, hey, you can get back to where you were, like, so it's gonna be like you can do it,
Okay.
so it's like a double whammy for me.
And it is like, if you set the goal high enough and then you reach it, it is very rewarding to reach those goals, right? You know, I mean, it really is, and I had thought about my goal might be increasing agents, but then I was like, it's not what it is. Mine is getting more agents to cap. So that more agents are successful, more agents are capping and feeling how great that feels to cap and be at 100%. I mean, it's awesome to do that. It's an achievement.
I know fellow brothers from Bakersfield, they had something done, and there was accountability that they had to put a certain amount of transactions per year. Is that something that you do?
Now, I feel like it is my goal to coach agents to do their best. I'm not gonna require it, because that's on you guys to do that. That's up to you, what you wanna do with your business, and everybody has different goals for their business, you know.
Like a basic requirement of your deal.
Well, we do have a basic requirement of 3 deals, but that's even varies a little bit if they're trying, it's more the effort than what's happening. So it's for me, it's coaching, it's giving the materials and what you guys need to be able to be successful. That's why I pay for signs to be put up, because I want them to look right. I want that to be a representation of us as a brokerage and our agents, because that is the first thing that people see. And there's nothing that bugs me more than I drive by a listing and it's a beautiful house and they have, excuse my language, a shitty sign, and it's half hanging over and it's weird and it's rusty. And I think, what does the seller think about that? Like, don't you want to walk out and go, oh, look at our nice clean sign that's straight? And Luis Jr. does a fabulous job of putting the signs up and making sure they're straight. And, we always send you the picture. What do you think about this? And it's awesome. And also when he does that, it's great to be able to reach out to the seller and go, your sign's up, it's there. So that's why I do that. That's why I try and pay for things so that your time is spent doing money-making things rather than out when it's 113 degrees, putting a sign up, sweating to death. That's not what I want you guys to do. I'd rather have you lead generating or reaching for your goals or whatever it is you guys are doing. But
You can seek to help you stay
Sync,
connected.
that's why I pay for Sync, to keep your database straight, to do all this. And again, you guys, I know it seems like a repeat, it all goes back to database and sphere of influence, right? It's all in calendaring. It's all the same stuff that I keep repeating, like, it's okay, Sarah, come up with something new, but really there isn't anything new. You don't reinvent the wheel, it's just calendaring is so important, so that you can control your whirlwind like Marty does. And what do you do, Cindy, for your whirlwind? How do you handle it?
I like calendars.
Yeah.
To-do lists.
Yeah.
It feels good to cross things off.
Yeah, I definitely calendar. Connie calendars. Connie does. Anna, what do you do?
I just like spin the plate, but I'm controlling
It's
them.
like keeping basketballs underwater.
Yeah, I hate when I get to the point where it's like escrow is reaching out or Marcella's reaching out, so I'm just like in deep into like, oh, I gotta get back to them. I like being in control where I'm reaching out and giving them updates instead of somebody being like, yeah, oh yeah, here you go. I hate that feeling when I'm super busy, but
Does it paralyze you though?
no,
That's good.
Kids would fucking hear.
That's good, because I know some agents get paralyzed with that kind of stuff, like they will just sit and look at the computer and they're not like moving on, like I do it. I'm probably a little bit of a mix, like I'm reactive in some ways, but I also lean on Athena a lot to do stuff like, hey, I need an addendum, they need this, they need that, like, I'll just text her. Voice text, Athena, can you send them the septic? Athena, they need this, they need that, because it allows us to do more of the money things, because right, guys, we wanna do the $500,000 an hour stuff, not the 20, whatever minimum wage is, I don't even know.
Connie's little, sure.
Oh, hey Connie,
Yes.
what do you think about 40X so far?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm a couple hours in and again, it's just kind of changes the direction and the platform. My biggest WIG is making the clients experience better. Because if they have to call me, then I'm not doing my job. So that is what I'm really working on. I don't feel like in all my years that I have really have a good platform for that. So that is my goal.
That's Connie's goal, is to improve her customer experience. And what's gonna happen when she improves the customer experience?
More referrals.
More referrals,
Yeah.
right? Ultimately, the end result of that is more business. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. What about your whirlwind? Connie, what do you do to keep your whirlwind in check?
Wow, time blocking is big for me. Because I can really accept, with having the staging as well, I have to really keep my time blocking very, very solid. I'm pretty good at that. Where I'm lacking is, balancing the time frame on things when real estate is a never-changing daily event, and sometimes you have to, what is it, erase but replace. So, making sure that I do get those calls in and I do get those thank you letters out, but sometimes they do get pushed because there's a little more of it's not a life and death situation, but for a buyer and seller, it can be. So keeping those hard time blocking in my calendar is always a daily task.
Yeah, so 40X can work for any business. It's not just real estate. If you were running a business and you had a team of employees, it will work. You've got to figure out what your goal is, figure out what that team needs to do to achieve that WIG and hold them accountable. It's the same thing. We're focusing on real estate being independent contractors. It's a little bit different, but running a business, it works as well. It's proven. Again, if you want to read the book, read it. There's a lot of quotes in there and a lot of talking about what they did while they were writing the book and the experimentation and that kind of thing, which I, have left out. I'm trying to summarize a little bit more, but I think it's super good. Okay. Anybody else have anything else? No? Okay.
If someone was having doubts if their wig is a good one or not, can they text it to you for?
Of course. Yeah. A wig is your thing, but it's gotta be a goal, not a whirlwind.
Mhm.
That's all. So keep that in mind. Okay, so next week, we know what the homework is. We'll delve into it a little bit more and we'll all kind of share it. So get ready to share next week, right? Thanks, guys.
Anytime those were sent to you, to your email, as well as you have them in front of you too.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not